Hey retailers, welcome to another workshop edition about creating a personal vision for yourself. This week the theme has been all about personal vision. Take two on this live video. My internet kind of screwed up a little bit, but hopefully it is all back on track. So just remember, if you're watching this live, I would love it if you could pop the word live in the comments section below. If you're watching the replay, pop the word replay. It just helps me know when the best time to do these videos are, so I can do a little bit of get some feedback actually. So cool. So today I'm just going to roll into how you would go about creating a personal vision for yourself. I'm going to briefly cover why it's important and what you need to do. There is a copy of the worksheet. If you want a copy of it, if you want to download it, just pop the word, I think we said vision. Yeah, makes sense. Pop the word vision in the comments below and I will get it out to you, or the team will. So let's rock and roll. Let me just load up the presentation. Groovy. Let's, whoa. Let's rock and roll. Okay, so the main problem that when it comes down to running a retail business is when you start to work with a coach, or when you're really starting to accelerate the growth of your business. One of the main issues that we come across is that when things get really, really difficult, there is very few things that can propel you forward as a retail business owner in actually doing the work in your business rather than having an actual vision for yourself. Okay. So, when you don't have a vision, and when it comes to those, like I mentioned, those parts in your business, like for instance, if you start to work with a coach, you're going to have to start to set up systems and procedures, and you're really going to have to do a little bit of work. And it's going to get to the stage where you're like, oh my God, why am I doing all this for? This is really, really hard. And without a vision for yourself to fall back on when things get tough, and it's going to get tough, it makes it really, really challenging for you to move forward in implementing initiatives in your business. So that's the main problem. And the other problem with not having a vision in our life, I think, is it's a fact that we really haven't thought about our lives and what makes us happy and what we want to do. But I'm jumping the gun. So that is the main problem when it comes to our retail businesses and the problem of not having a vision. And usually, no one's really taught us to have a vision, right? Unless you've been doing heaps of personal development stuff. But the concept of having a personal vision initially sounds a little bit too woo-woo. And it's not really something that's front to mind. Usually we understand that we need to create a vision and a mission and values for the actual business itself. But when it comes to our personal selves, how many people have really spoken to us about really taking the time and understanding what we want out of life, what we enjoy doing, what would we rather spend our lives doing? And so I think this is one of the big causes of not having a vision, right, in our business, because we just really don't know about it. If we get this right, if we get our vision right, like I mentioned, then, when things start to get really, really tough in our business, when it comes to creating those systems and procedures, if we get it right, it's going to be something that we can fall back on. It's going to be our guiding light. It's going to be our star, because, when things get really, really tough and we're like, oh, and we look back at our vision, what we're trying to create for ourselves, that's going to be the real motivation, the impetus to drive us forward. Because once you have a personal vision, really, you can start to look forward to how you want to live your life. You're starting to live your life by design, creating the lifestyle that you want. And when you get this right, you're going to realize that it's going to be your retail business that is going to be providing for your vision. So your retail business is actually going to be allowing you to live your life. And, if you've been working with me or if you've heard about me, freedom, adventure are one of my biggest things. And so having, when I was running my pharmacy-based businesses, pharmacy retail businesses, having that clear vision in mind on all the things that I'd rather be doing and what I wanted to be doing, like traveling and doing art and learning all sorts of fun things. And the business was there to provide that for me. So that's what can happen if we get the vision component right in running our business, a personal vision for ourselves. So I just want to run through some quick steps on what you need to do. And remember, if you want a copy of the worksheet, just pop the word vision below and we'll get it out to you. So what you need to do to create a personal vision for yourself. So step one is you need to think about your values. So what's really important to you? What do you value out of life? And this is a really tricky subject. A lot of people don't sort of understand what values mean. And beyond the scope of this little presentation here for me to run through what values mean, but you can Google it. Obviously, if you work together with me, we have a whole process, which I'm going to show you in a second after this, on how we work through your values. But you need to understand, because your values are one of the things that sort of drive you forward and are intrinsic in you. So you need to understand and figure out what your values are in life. The next part is we need to write down some interests and passions. Okay, so hopefully you have an idea of what you're interested in life and what you're passionate about. If you don't, really now is a good time to start thinking about, what would you rather be doing? What really excites you? What do you want to learn? If it's travel, where do you want to travel to? But what are your interests in life? What are your passions that you've probably been putting off? Or maybe, hopefully, you're starting to live and do your interests and passions now, and it's just that you haven't got enough time to do it. But what we need is an understanding of our interests and passions. The third part, which I think is often overlooked, is the sense of contribution. All of us, I believe, human beings in a certain way want to contribute to the world. And so what we need to discover for ourselves and understand is, how will we contribute to the world, right? And, it may be through volunteering, or you might give a donation, or you might tutor. I don't know. Whatever it is that's going to make you feel really, really good about yourself is a contribution factor that you really need to consider. And a lot of people gloss this over because they don't think it's important. But I'm telling you, as part of forming our vision, our personal vision for our future, understanding how we can contribute to society is super important. And you need to figure out, a couple of things in the contribution piece. The next part is we really need to think about how many hours per week do we want to work on our business. Now, I've spoken about this many times. You can work in your business where, you're running around the retail shop, you're at the register, you're serving customers, which is great. But, I would challenge you that if you want to grow your business and if you want to be able to start to pursue everything in your personal vision, we need to start working on the business. And so that's where I'm going to challenge you to think about how many hours per week would you like to work on the business, not in it, but on it. So that's something that you need to think about. The other thing we need to think about is, what are your strengths? What are your natural strengths that you believe that you have? I think this is something that is often overlooked as well. Nobody really tells us to play on our strengths. Well, I'm telling you now, let's really write down what our personal strengths are, and let's write them down. So yeah, I'll just leave it at that. And one of the final things as we get to completing our personal vision statement is to be okay with doing what some people call, actually one of my coaches calls an SFD, a shitty first draft. Okay, you just need a version 1.0. I think it's really easy to go down the rabbit hole and create this perfect vision for ourselves, this utopian vision, with pink dresses and fairies and that kind of shit. But it's really important that we just get a shitty first draft done. And because our vision over time, we can change it, we can mold it as we progress in life. But I think it's really easy before we start the journey forward in really rocking and rolling in our retail business that we have some sort of shitty first draft. So that's really, really important. So in summary, the personal vision is the guiding light for us. So when things get really, really tough in our business, we're really going to fall back on our personal vision, our vision statement. And, this is also a part of our personal growth. By starting to really think about these things, we're going to grow as a human being. And, as you're going to start to continually begin to work on yourself. And, when you start to work on yourself, it only just multiplies the positive aspects in your life. And, you're going to be super, super clear on why you're doing what you're doing in your retail business. Why are you busting your guts in the beginning, trying to create a fantastic business? And it's going to be so you're super clear and you've got clarity on what you want out of life. And like I said, we just need a version 1.0. So I think that's it there. I'm just going to cool. So I'm going to do that there. And what I want to show you now is what I want to show you now is just the worksheet that I work through with my clients on how we go about creating a personal vision. So we'll do that. Okay, so that's coming up there now. So I'm just going to fly through this because obviously this is stuff I work through with my clients and doing, but just to give you a little bit of a flavor on what we do. I'll just run through it with you, okay? So this is a blueprint worksheet that we work through with my clients, and so we look at our values, interests, passions. I go through in there exactly what we need to do and how we need to go about doing it. We brainstorm it. Then we have a little template there that we put it in, and that kind of helps us rock and roll through that. So yeah, that worksheet is for my clients only, but it gives you a really good sense, hopefully, on what we need to do to create a personal vision for yourself. Okay, this is so good. I've got an actual question here. How do you recommend narrowing one's aspiration? That's a really, really good question. I think I can't see your name. I'm so sorry. StreamYard doesn't do that. But narrowing one's aspiration, I think, happens over time. So I would encourage you to do a version 1.0, go through the process, look at your values, just start to fill out all those little bits of information that we spoke about before. If you want to copy the worksheet, Valerie, hi Valerie. Thanks for joining. It's good. So yeah, in the worksheet, if you want a copy of the worksheet, just put vision below. Under each of the things that are really important, like values, your strengths, start to brainstorm a few of those things down, and hopefully that'll start to give you a little bit of a sense of what to create in your personal vision, because yeah, that's going to be a really good guiding light. And of course, if you work with us, we go through that whole process of the whole values and that kind of thing. So yeah, great interaction. Thanks, Valerie. Cool. All right. Well, that wraps it up. Like I said, if you're watching this live, pop live, replay below. If you want to copy the worksheet, pop the word vision. And yeah, until next time, I'm going to do my cheesy do my cheesy grin, and so we can sign off until the next time we speak again. Much love, and we will speak again. Thank you. Ciao.